What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. So Taysom Hill, who was laying the wood on Sunday. Taysom Hill was named NFC Player of the Week. Shout out to Taysom. It's his second time winning this award. He won it at Vikings game back in 2022. How about this? The first player since Chiefs running back Ed Podolak.
Oh, Ed.
Old Ed back in 1971.
I don't know Ed.
To have 3 rushing touchdowns, 50 receiving yards, and a pass completion in a single game. Shout out Taysom Hill.
You know, all like jokes aside, the thing that I want to see from Taysom Hill is not completely abandon Taysom Hill in this game.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you had this. Put it in your offense. Let it be a part of who you are.
Yeah, keep leaning into it.
Yeah, it feels like so many times in the DA era, like you would have a game, that maybe not quite like this, but you'd have a good game from Taysom. The next game, can you find him?
Well, there was that game against Cleveland where the weather was just god-awful, right? And, yeah, they ended up using him the second half. Yeah. And ended up working. But the first half, it's like, wait, why aren't we? Like, it's obvious that this is a Taysom game. What is going on here? I will say, given Rizzi's halftime comments, I do believe, Jake, that you have a better chance of seeing that now.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what Kubiak's, what if he sees something on film where he doesn't like the Taysom matchup. But, like, I mean, again, Rizzi at halftime, Taysom had a couple key mistakes. They ask him, should you stick with it or are you going to get away from it? He's like, what? No, we're going to lean into him. Like, we're going to give him the ball more. So I too hope that they can follow up and emphasize Taysom once again, and that it leads to a win. And there's a really good piece on New Orleans football right now on why these Saints don't believe in tanking. And look, obviously, there is the base level thing of players and coaches. They don't have the ability to tank because they don't have job security, right? Like, you can't. Now, front offices can manipulate things. Like, pretty interesting what's going on in New York right now with all this quarterback shenanigans, right? Drew Lock feels like he's number 2. All of a sudden, he's jumped. He's frustrated. The team feels like some players are coming out there saying they, like, screwed over Daniel Jones, which is kind of funny to hear. DeVito bumped up to that number 1 role. Is it like pseudo tanking, right?
Jones was 4th.
The process
on the depth chart.
Oh, he's 4th now.
Yeah, Tim Boyle was.
Okay, they're just gonna keep pushing him down.
I mean, if you're 4th though, like he's not gonna be on the active roster.
Oh no, he's gonna be in street clothes. He's gonna be watching the game like us.
So
life comes at you fast,
and
guys.
Joggers and a hoodie.
He went to bed last weekend as the starter. Now he's not even on the active.
If you're a player on that team and you feel like your front office is trying to tank, it's not a good feeling for you because your job is still on the line based on how you play. If you're a coach, your job is still on the line based on how you play. And so, of course, players and coaches are never going to agree with tanking, but it goes beyond that. And you got to be careful getting comfortable with losing. And who knows this better than Demario Davis, who played for both the Jets and the Browns, right? 2 teams that have been stuck in a rut, a la the Pelicans, for a very long time. And here's what he had to say, quote, I mean, I'm not trying to talk about any other organizations, but you see other organizations that are constantly in a rebuild and they never win. They're never in the playoffs. It's been decades. But this organization, it feels foreign when we're not in the playoffs. They've created a culture. When you have a great culture, you create a high standard while maintaining a place where everything feels important. And so I know that they have not lived up to that culture or standard here the last couple of years. Have been right on the edge, but that DA factor kind of kept them away from it. I'm going to be fascinated to see over the final portion of this season if Demario Davis and the rest of these guys can honor that quote. And they can prove that quote to be true. Now, they probably dug too deep a hole. They probably did, obviously. But I do want to see how much fight they are going to finish with here. And can you carry that culture forward into a pseudo rebuild that you're going to look to do this offseason and then pay long-term dividends down the road?
Yeah, I think you've already seen a lot of what we're talking about. Like, we go back and you look at the grades and you look at the effort, you look at the amount of plays that some of these veteran players are playing, and DA had completely lost them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they knew how lost they truly were. But yeah, like Cam Jordan playing like 14 plays in a game. You had Demario Davis looking like, what, is he human? Like, he's just been so good regardless of his age. And he was probably your best defender last week, Demario Davis was.
Yeah.
You've got Cam now playing like 40-plus plays a game now. So you've got Tyron out there continuing to intercept the ball. Like, you have your veteran players back in it now. And that you know this. That's so hard once you lose those players to gain them back. But when you make a major move like getting rid of Dennis Allen, who you were never going to do anything positive with, then they get that jolt. And that jolt can last throughout the rest of this season. And those are good football players still, and you're seeing that. And so I realize, the Browns are the Browns. They're a bad football team, but you weren't doing the things that you were supposed to do under DA. Like, you're supposed to beat the Browns. You weren't doing stuff like that. Like, so they were supposed to, and they did. They went out there, they handled business. And with the way the South is going right now, if those other teams don't figure it out, like, you do have an opportunity, because it does feel like this is now who you are. You've taken the identity of your head coach.
And so we'll see, man. I think this bye week comes at a perfect time as well, Jake, to kind of get your head back. It's been a whirlwind of a few weeks, right? Head coach fired, all this new, rattled off a couple wins, but I feel like that can all be a bit exhausting.
Yes.
So now you have a week off. Rizzi's the guy. Everybody gets to catch their breath a little bit and say, okay, this is the new normal. Let's lock in. It's no longer kind of fly by the seat of our pants, and let's get ready to finish strong here over this final portion of the season. Absolutely love how this bye week has fallen.
You're right. Like, everything, like, when you make changes like that and you got to go, it is very difficult. And now, like, you actually get a chance, like, Rizzi's going to get a chance to sit down and, okay, here's what you're going to do during game week and game day. Here's what you're going to do. He probably even had, like, the opportunity to really lay out exactly how he wants everything to go. Now that he's done it for a couple of games, he probably has some things that he wants to, tinker a little bit here and there as far as the game day process. Like, you hadn't had time to do any of that. And so I do feel like, and, maybe you can get a little bit healthier. Now, there's some guys that we talked about, like the receiver room, it is what it is.
Well, you'll just feel better, though, if anything else, right? You'll just get your body recovered a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Taysom needs this week to be able to go out there.
Taysom, Demario, Cam, all the vets, right? Alvin, which, by the way, you have to go read the piece on New Orleans Football and Alvin Kamara. It's so freaking good. I want to talk a bit about it later. So I think the Saints, crazily enough, are not in an awful spot. And I cannot wait to see how this team emerges out of this bye week. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.